Hey friends, are you done with dating apps? Tired of swiping through profiles and superficial chats that go nowhere? Well, swipe left on those boring rituals. Introducing Done with Dating, the free podcast driven dating platform that's bringing human interaction back. We sit down with incredible singles for real conversations on our weekly podcasts. Listeners like you get to know them deeply, then apply to date a guest or step into the mic yourself. Plus, we'll regularly host experts that discuss the dating world and provide advice on self improvement techniques when you are taking a break from dating and focusing on yourself. Made for the bold, built for connection, your dating journey redefined through the mic. Head to donewithdating.co right now and apply. It's free. Your perfect match is just one episode away. If you're tired of dating apps that feel more like a scam, this episode is your game changer. In part 2 of their conversation, Christina and Sierra share candid insights on what truly makes dating work in today's world, especially for women. Discover how intentionality, self-work, and simple communication shifts can turn casual encounters into lasting relationships. In this heartfelt conversation, you'll learn why effort and energy matter more than swipes and matches. Christina, 41, and Sierra, 28, delve into the frustrations of modern dating, revealing how boundaries, emotional intelligence, and community support transform the way we approach love. These tips are not just about finding a date. They're about honoring yourself and attracting someone who sees your worth. If you're ready to break the cycle of surface-level interactions and build real, meaningful connections, this episode is your essential guide.
So I know that we wanted to start with just set the scene for who we are too, because I think it does
Yeah.
make a difference as to like how old each person is and maybe any experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 28 and I've been actively dating for 6 months a year now.
Great. Cool. So I'm Christina and I'm 41. I'm going to be 42 soon. I've been divorced for 4-ish years. So I feel that for a while it was like I was dating but I wasn't super serious about it. For the 40
Mhm,
region, I would say there's definitely a lot of, at that point there's divorces,
mhm,
there's other things that are playing a role, kids, things like that. So
mhm.
there definitely it's it's very complicated and hard to find somebody that fits you, and also at this point, it's exactly what you want and what you don't
Yeah,
want, and, it's hard sometimes to find that person.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it's like the same problem, however, at this point, you've got more that has piled on in your life. You've got things that have happened in the past that have piled up, and so there's a lot of walls, I think, in
Mhm.
your 40s that you have to break through in order to meet someone that's gonna be lasting. You have to really break down, and yeah, so it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
No,
Yeah.
that's interesting as well because I feel like, those are chapters that a lot of people haven't lived yet, but they're going to. So
Mhm.
there's gonna be challenges or, like, road bumps no matter what side of the coin you are right now.
Absolutely. It's cool to have this conversation with you too, because it's like it's so interesting to hear it from your perspective.
No, you too.
Yeah. So we kind of covered the what do you think has changed the most about dating in the
Mhm.
last year, unless you think there is something specific.
I don't know about the last I don't know about the last year, but something that I've noticed in general over the years, like from my friends telling me or what have you, or my own experiences, I feel like it's a bit harder to find someone who from the jump is like willing to, for lack of a better word, like yearn and try and like put forth that effort to date someone in, like, a monogamous way. I feel like that's something that a lot of my friends have talked about with me over the
Mhm.
years, and it's something that I've been noticing, and so since dating again, that's something that I've noticed too.
The piece about that people are dating lots of people, or that things will happen to be they'll end it quickly.
I think it's more so, like, a combination of ending it quickly, but also just, like, I feel I need more effort put forth, like, in the dating and for an archaic word, but in the courting process, you know? Like, I wanna see
Absolutely.
a little bit more effort. I'm not asking for the moon and the stars, but,
Yeah.
just something to
Yeah.
show that you're willing to put the work in.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've in my dating process, I've started to really engage with accounts like on Instagram or TikTok that give dating advice or that poke fun at the dating process. And I
Mhm.
loved this one that was like, the bar is so low that I am excited because a man asked me a question.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that piece is there is this piece of a lack of interest on that side in terms of asking questions that will continue a conversation. Do you find
Mhm.
that too?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
like, I've said that exact sentence to one of my friends, like, I went on a date a couple months ago, and I was like, "And he kept asking questions." And my friends were like, "Yeah, it's a conversation."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Right, right, right. Thank you for bringing me back to reality. Yes, it's a conversation."
Exactly. Yeah. I think women's camaraderie plays a huge role in dating. I have I have found so much connection with my friends through it. How
Mhm.
do you and your friends work off of each other?
I agree with you. I think there's nothing like just turning to your friends in times of whether it's simple as dating advice or an outfit to wear for the date or something like that. I think I just really like and value a sounding board in my friends. And so I'll be like, hey, I'm posed with this situation, or I want to go on this date, but what about this? And then sometimes they talk me, like they rationalize with me and they're like, sometimes you just have to go out there and see what it's like, and, if you don't like it, you can always leave. So I think they just give me really sound advice, and then also, unfortunately, since we are women in the dating space, my roommates have my location, they know, like, where I'm going, and they know all that stuff, just because, like, it's just an extra layer that I think women, people of color, and people in the LGBTQ community have to think about when they're
Mhm.
going on a first date with someone, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I think that is so important for everybody to hear that it's like your location, tell them everything that you can about the
Mhm.
person. It is so important. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you brought that up. I find a lot that recently my friends, I've leaned on my friends for helping them remind me of my worth
Yeah.
and you deserve the world. You
Mhm.
deserve somebody to ask you questions.
Yeah.
This person would be crazy not to want to
Yeah.
be with you. And I think for women that are in this space to find other women that will help them through it is so important to remind you of what you do deserve.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I think the energy piece is huge. From my perspective, I think that there was a while where I was accepting less than
Mhm.
the energy that I wanted and that I now realize I deserved, but I didn't really realize that for some time. And I that was just a huge game changer. And there was a lot for me where I did step away from I've done the apps here and there,
Mhm.
but there's a piece of me that was like, I'm done with the apps, you know?
Yeah.
Have you said that? I'm done with the apps.
Yeah, many times.
Yeah, and this most recent time that I did that, I stepped back and I'm like, I need to really only accept what is what is right for me. And when I go back on the app, I go on with intentionality to say, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I will accept and what I deserve. And that was huge for me to when I took the break to
Mhm.
do the self work that then brought me back on there and it's like, okay, I know what I want and I know how I'm gonna show up on here.
Yeah, and that's really important. I feel like a lot of people forget that, like, maybe not forget, but I feel like lose focus on, like, you're the most important person involved in this, right? Like, if you're not completely sure and confident and, like, healthy in, like, the mind and everything, then, like, I think if you get yourself right and if you really take that time to think about, like, what is important to you and really take that time to have your own peace, I think is really important, whether you're in between a relationship or you're trying to start something new or what have you. I think it's really important to always be attuned with yourself, because that's something that I've learned in, like, my journey too, is, like, I need to really reevaluate what's important to me and also reevaluate, like, what areas of my life do I want to, like, nourish right now? Because it doesn't always have to be, like, finding a relationship or something like that. So sometimes when you nourish other things blossom too. And so I think that's really important, like what you said about just, like, taking that moment for yourself or taking however many moments you want just to, realign and figure out what's important to you. And, it's really nice that your friends are that reminder because sometimes you need to hear it from an outside voice, like, in, like, an outside perspective that, like,
Mhm.
"What are you doing? You deserve so much better." It's like, "Oh, yeah. Actually, now that you're now that I'm looking
Exactly.
at it from a different perspective, you're so right. This is not something that I have put up with in the past," or whatever it is. It's a nice reality check moment, and I think that's what a lot of friends can do for each other in multiple areas of life.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think this is more of a younger generation thing, but I've
Mhm.
started doing voice notes a lot. Do you do
Oh,
voice
yeah.
notes with your friends all the time?
All the time. I'm such a yapper. I've sent, like, a 5-minute voice memo before.
Oh my gosh, I am obsessed, and it's like you just give the update every
Yeah.
time, on the voice note, and actually I that was a one way that, like, with my current partner, that I have been
Mhm.
able to, I felt like doing voice notes with him was really good in fostering the relationship.
Yeah.
Have you done that in dating, or have your friends done that in dating?
My friends have for sure. I'm, a notoriously awful texter, so I'll text you either immediately or it'll be a little bit. But,
Mhm.
a lot of my friends, they've used, like, voice notes, more so, like, the ones that are partnered. One of mine has, a fiancé, so she'll send him voice memos, or my other will send it to her partner. I think that's something that I've noticed more popular with a when someone's partnered. And then
Mhm.
when I'm as someone who's single, I feel like I more so send voice notes to my friends as updates or something, and then maybe when I get to know someone better, maybe I'll send them a voice memo, who knows? But
Yeah.
I think that's something I've noticed, which is really cute with my friends that are partnered. Yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend it for people, anyone that's listening that is courting, because it's really cool to be able to record something, and you tell the story the way that you want it to be said, as opposed to in the moment that it's happening, and you have to react in the moment instead, and you can always delete the note that you're recording. And so
Redo
yeah.
it.
So that's a pro tip for people out
No,
there.
I agree with you. I actually think I've never had this in my experience yet, but I think it would show more personality too.
Yeah.
You get to hear their cadence and you get to hear how they, like, describe a story or something. I could see positives to that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you feel like your friends
Mhm.
are more intentional about dating this year, or still keeping things casual?
Yeah, I think it's pretty 50-50. I think I have some friends that are looking for something a bit more serious and hoping it can lead to something serious, while some of my other friends are just willing to have casual connections for now. Um, yeah, I'm in that age range where I have people on that end, this end,
Mhm.
married. No, so it's a little bit
Totally.
of everything. Yeah.
Totally. So, yeah, I would say my friends that are single are pretty intentional
Mhm.
about their dating, if they're going to go on a date at all. It's
Yeah.
like some people are just not a lot I think a lot of people are just not doing it.
Mhm.
And so if they're going to, they're intentional about it. And I do think a lot of times it just takes getting past that beginning part that's
Yeah.
hard, because part of me who's so comfortable being on my own is like, well, maybe I'll just not go through this hard part and
Yeah,
just be on my own, So that's
exactly.
where I think it's important that then the partner is like meets you there and is works through it. And I agree, the active listening, the really getting the feedback as you're going through.
Yeah, yeah, and emotional intelligence is really important too. I'm not asking you to know every emotion under the sun, but at least have a good grip on yours and how to healthfully communicate that, I think is something else that is pretty important, and also just some feedback I've heard from my own friend group too.
Totally. Self work is so important. And this has been my experience. It has been really hard to find a man who does the self work,
Mhm.
or who has done the self work. And I think that that is a part of society. I think that's something that I hope is changing now that there's more information out there about how important it is for everybody to be in touch with their emotions. And so I think it's just important that we all recognize where we're coming from. It
Oh, for
is hard for a man to possibly could be hard for them to go into that emotional realm because it's been possibly growing up, they weren't able to do that. So meeting them
Mhm.
there and also just everybody doing the work. That's my big perspective is just
Yeah.
keep doing the work. Every time that you're in a relationship, come back and see, what happened, what worked for me, what didn't.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, lessons learned and things like you look at yourself and like from a different light, from a different perspective, especially when you're leaving a relationship. And sometimes that's really helpful because then you can maybe be like, "Oh yeah, maybe I can improve my communication or maybe I can improve this." Just looking inward sometimes is also valuable to help your future self get what
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah. Absolutely. Love that. Yeah, I'm just curious about, like, the dating other people piece,
Mhm.
because the apps are it's like everyone's on them, so then it's hard because you know that they're getting hit 24/7 with all these
Mhm.
people that are available. What is that like
Mhm.
from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's honestly something that I don't really think about too much, and that's probably because I'm so used to what that app culture is like, and it's fine. I'm typically a person who, like, keeps all their eggs in one basket kinda thing, but I know in my age group, that's not necessarily super common. It doesn't really super bother me unless it's something that, like, we've defined that we're exclusively only seeing each other or something like that, and then if something's discovered after that, not about it.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah. But it's pretty much assumed that people are yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, "Okay, we're both
I
on
know.
here.
I
We know what it's
know.
like."
It's so hard. It's really interesting, but I did see, like I said, I watched a lot of reels about dating and things like that, and I did see a lot of people are like, "You have to be talking to more than one person because
Mhm.
everybody else is," and I think it's just something you have to feel in your heart because, like you said, you're somebody that's, "I can't do that," and I'm the same way,
Yeah.
I
I
can't
can't,
manage
like
it.
I really admire the people that can.
Mhm.
I think I multitask in other areas of my life that I can't multitask
Right.
here. I don't it's not a strength of mine,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I
Yeah.
commend the people that are able to do that.
Yeah, and that was something I decided. I was like, "Okay, I know all the advice is that I should be, but I can't because
Yeah.
I can feel it in my heart, I just can't do this." So, I think that's a point where there's a lot of information out there and advice out there, but you really have to just listen to what feels right for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, trust your gut in situations always, because normally it's always right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just wanna share one more perspective
Yeah.
that I've had is that everybody is just, "I'm busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time." I'm like, "We're all busy."
Right. No, yeah, I could see how that could get frustrating because it's like, you're not busy if you really value getting to know this person. You prioritize, you make it work. So
Right.
I'm sure if you just keep hearing that, you're like, "Okay."
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one of my big gripes is that I'm really busy. I could give you a laundry list of everything I have to do, but this I wanna prioritize and
Right.
yeah. I'm super fascinated by how you lived your whole adult dating life on the apps. That's
Yeah,
a very fascinating thing to think
it's
about.
interesting. Yeah, it's like I take a step back and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that has been pretty much a majority of my experience," which is
Mhm.
weird to say, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Interesting. I'm like
Mhm.
thinking about phone culture and the way that the internet and the phones have really affected our lives. So this is just making my brain buzz, because I know about the effects of this on other ways, but I never thought about it on the effects of dating. But
Right.
the lack of social connection that
Mhm.
comes with being on the phone so much that then relates into the dating world because anybody at a bar could be just escape into their phone, which is what, probably happens a lot because you feel uncomfortable, you go on your phone
Mhm.
but then you're not open to who's around you.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm victim of that. I do that, but I'm aware and I'm trying to break that.
Yeah.
But it is something that for sure happens. I think it's that or, you're just so comfortable with the bubble you're with, like, the people that you're with that, like, you don't wanna break that because it's
Yeah.
just a fun time and you're out with your friends or whatever, and so I think, like, that's something else that maybe deters people too.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Great.
Thank
It was
you,
so
yeah.
fun, Sierra, talking
I
to
know, so
you.
nice chatting with you and getting to
Yeah.
know you.
Yeah. I loved hearing your perspective. It's so interesting. Thank you so much for having the conversation with me. I learned a lot and it's just great to connect with you.
Yeah, yeah, thanks for having me.
So if you're done with endless swiping and ready for something real, don't miss a single episode. Hit that subscribe button right now on your favorite podcast app and never miss the bold conversations that could change your dating life forever. Every week, we bring you incredible singles, excellent advice, raw stories, and real opportunities to connect, all for free. Subscribe today, apply at DoneWithDating.co, and turn your next listen into your next date. Your perfect match is waiting on the other side of the mic. It doesn't matter where you live, someone local is listening and will want to date you. We'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe now.